wrongdoing of bad policing, the wrongdoing of something that has been in this country for a long time, almost since the inception of this country. That's why we were there. That's why we were peacefully protesting. And it almost felt like we were sitting on the bridge in Selma at that day. For us to be boxed in by police where you had 80, 90 people and well over 200 police officers. And that's the moral of what we're fighting, the excessive force that's used against our brothers and sisters, the lack of respect for human beings. That's what we're fighting for. And to see that yesterday, almost as if the SAC PD and CHP wanted to prove a point to say, we don't want you out here, really, really hurts us, but it fires us up to continue to keep fighting for justice and to continue to keep fighting for peace, because we as human beings, those that are oppressed, we will be respected. And we are 100% outraged at how SAC PD and the police force in this city handled the protest yesterday. You had civic leaders, clergy out there that were with those who are hurting, that were with those who have passion, that were trying to keep the peace. And there used to be a time when clergy and civic leaders were respected by law enforcement, and there was a bridge that can be drawn. But yesterday, what they did to the clergy, what they did to the leaders was disrespectful to God, was disrespectful to our calling, was disrespectful to our duty, and to the sacrifice that we made to be out to the people. We are 100% outraged.
You know, what is it that you want the police officers, and not just the police officers, but just the people of Sacramento and the community to know about what transpired last night, and what is the message that you're trying to get across to them?
We want the community to know that we're not tired. We're not tired. The clergy, the faith leaders, we are not tired. No matter what they do, if they put handcuffs on our hands, we'll still sing our song for justice. If they sit us down, we'll still continue to march spiritually. Our power does not come from an elected position, but it comes from God, and we stand on the scripture. And if God before us, we cannot be stopped. We're not tired. We're going to stand with our community no matter what they do. And it was excessive for them to act in that manner. It was excessive for them to squeeze 80 to 90 people on 15 feet of grass against the bridge. It was absolutely excessive for what they did, to look like almost the military coming towards you. For people that are expressing their rights against injustice. We want the community to know that we are going to stand with them, and we're not going to allow this to slide. We're going to hold them accountable for the injustice that they're doing against those who are raising their voices.
Do you feel that your constitutional rights were violated?
Absolutely. Absolutely. What I seen yesterday was a peaceful protest. What I seen yesterday was the police agitating peaceful people to try to get a response. But we did not do that. We held to who we are, and we stood there with our hands up. We stood there with our hands up. It did not take what they did yesterday, all of those resources that could have been used in a different instance. It didn't take that yesterday at all. People were peacefully trying to get back to their cars. Clergy were peacefully putting people on the sidewalks to get back to their cars, and they agitated the situation. We are outraged. We will not rest. We will not.
So I guess just to, kind of conclude and sum up, as far as what you guys can take from what happened last night, are there other protests that are going to be planned throughout the week?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're going to mobilize the clergy to come out and do a clerical march. We're going to call on all clergy to come out and march with us. And it would be something to see if the police would agitate that march too, even though we know that they won't try to do that, but we're calling on everybody. That yesterday was a scare tactic to keep people off the streets. We're not scared. We are not scared. God has not given us the spirit of fear, but the spirit of power, love, and a sound mind. We are not scared. We are going to take to the streets of Sacramento, because in a progressive state that we are in, the Attorney General had the opportunity to do what's right and to stand out and to make history, and he did not. We're going to hold the police accountable. We're going to hold the Attorney General accountable, and we're going to rally. We're going to continue fight. This will not die. As long as I'm here in the city of Sacramento, and I've been here for 24 years, it will not die. As the man says on the Men's Warehouse commercial, I guarantee it. I guarantee it. We will be here, we will fight, and we will hold elected officials accountable. And come election times, we definitely will hold the elected officials accountable. We'll stand together and unify, and we're going to continue to fight. Protests is our plan. We are planning protests, and we are working on getting the people out and mobilizing them to display their passion properly.
You mentioned the Attorney General. Obviously, that decision was just handed down about an hour or so ago. Right. What was your initial reaction to it?
My initial reaction was once again outrage. Absolutely. It testifies to the fact that a lot of people don't have faith in the system. They don't have faith in the government. They don't have faith in their elected officials anymore because they continue to show us that the system is not here for us. And it causes people to lose hope, but we will not lose hope. We're outraged at the Attorney General. We're going to hold him accountable. Come election time, we will stand up. We will mobilize people to let him know, no, if you will not stand for us, and we did what's right and presented the letter to you to talk to you in good faith and good standing, and you will not stand up for us, your people in your state, and serve justice and make history and do what's right, no, we're going to hold you accountable. The church has woken up, the clergy has woken up, and we're taking our people and we're going to march forward to justice. Now is the time. Right now is the time in the capital city of Sacramento for us to take a stand and for us to make history and let us know that it is not impossible to have police reform. It is not impossible to have private investigations that will convict cops for murdering young black men like me. It is not impossible. And you know why it's not impossible? Because we are going to do what we have to do to make it possible to influence a change, to influence legislation. So we're absolutely outraged with the Attorney General. We're going to hold him accountable. We're going to take to the streets to let him know. We're going to blow up his office, not necessarily blow up his office like that, but we're going to call his office to let him know it's not acceptable. It's not acceptable to disregard your people in this state and to disregard having a police force that can turn the corner and instantly just murder a young man. No, we're not taking it for an answer. We're going to hold him accountable.
You kind of just answered my last question. My last question was basically, where do you guys go from here? You know, given everything that's transpired within the last 24 hours, what are the next steps? You know, and you said just to continue to fight towards justice and stuff like that. But more protests.
Our national president of the People's Alliance for Justice, Reverend Shane Harris, is continually working with head government officials here. I can't go into the details of that necessarily, but he's reaching out to some major government figures here in California to continue to push forward. He will be at the city council meeting tonight, speaking at the city council meeting. Our national president, once again, Reverend Shane Harris, he'll be at the city council meeting tonight, speaking to the city council and holding people accountable. But we're just going to keep climbing the ladder. Whatever it takes, we're going to keep climbing the ladder to let them know that we're not resting. We're not resting.
Sounds good. I mean, unless there's anything else you want to add to that, or anything else you want to say,
That'd be it.
Well, I would just say we can do this. We are Sacramento, and we can do this. We can be the city that unites and not divides, and we can come together in a time of trial. So, it is possible.
Absolutely.
There is hope.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Good deal.